James G is dropping a question. I am overwhelmed and I don't know what to do next. I'm thinking about quitting. So first things first, I this situation, I would first say pause everything, talk to your instructors, talk to your um, training partners, and try to understand why you feel overwhelmed. Which part of training feels overwhelming to you? One is the the mental factor of it. Is it the physical aspect of it? And what are the components in your life conflict the training in jiu-jitsu? See, I personally believe that jiu-jitsu itself shouldn't be overwhelming. It should be fun. It should be engaging. It should be stimulating. However, as a combination with other parts of our life, I do see how it could become overwhelming. It could become draining. It could become a chore. And at that moment right there, we are losing interest. We are finding other things to do because simply we don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore, and we're trying to avoid that situation. When we get to that point, we really have to step back and we really have to evaluate the situation, having a deeper understanding of why this is happening. Once we understand why, we can begin fixing. What do they say? Step one of fixing a problem is identifying there is one. So we have to find out what is causing that conflict. If it's a physical component, meaning our body is exhausted, perhaps scaling down with your training, perhaps attending different classes, perhaps looking at the schedule of your training and your participation requires some attention. Maybe you need to take a look at what you're doing, how often you're doing it, how long you're doing it for. Matter of fact, recently I had some conversations with one of my students. He's in his 50s, and he brought up a very similar point of, listen, if I attend 3 classes in one day, I feel completely burned, and then I cannot attend any classes for next 2 to 3 days. So we came up with a solution of modifying his schedule when he can come in 3 or 4 times a week. However, the training is scaled down to his needs. He has specific classes, he has specific goals that he wants to establish and he wants to attain. And based on those, he attains very specific classes to gain the skills and improve or make improvements in the areas where he's looking for. And after just a couple weeks, the response was pretty simple. Because this works much better. I don't feel overwhelmed physically. I don't feel drained. I don't feel like I can't do this anymore. And it actually becomes much more fun. So I would suggest that. At the same time, physical drain or overwhelming feeling of being overwhelmed is not the only factor here. We also mentally could be exhausted, right? What is happening in your life? What's happening in your family's life? What's happening in your at your job, at your profession, right? All that could have an impact on how you are performing on the mat. So I encourage you to step back and really take a look at it. End of the day, jiu-jitsu should be fun. End of the day, if you are a hobbyist, jiu-jitsu should be fun. If you're a professional, this might not be as applicable because then your training schedule and training methods and training goals will be very, very different. But for most of us, when we are hobbies, when we enjoy jiu-jitsu, we should enjoy it. It should be fun. It should be engaging, and it should be, many consider this as a getaway point. Many consider this as a place to get out of the stress zone and have fun by stimulating ourselves with our minds, physically engaging in a physical contact sport or activity, and then obviously having the community factor. And the last final part is one of the most important parts of jiu-jitsu. You have friends, you have training partners who do care about you. Talk to them, talk to your instructors, talk to your coaches, talk to your professors, and I'm confident that you can figure it out how to lower down the overwhelming factor for yourself and continue training. See you on the mat. Peace.